Okay, well, we need to have a sit down about this. We have to talk about strategies to maximize our engagement yield, and I think you might be the actual key needed to synergize the diverse audience markets we're catering to.
Blam doesn't know what that means.
And I Crash a Skull Drinker, a warrior of some renown, am also confused at your words, my lord.
Well, Skull Drinker, you don't have to call me my lord. You are here because since day one you have been an integral part of this team, and you killed Aaron's weird pervert goblin.
That was my cousin.
Oh, I drunked his skull good.
And crushed his eyes, yeah?
What?
Oh, because you're Eye Crusher Skull Drinker. Like, Eye Crusher?
That is a common misconception. Eye Crusher is a very mundane name where I come from. Every third person is Eye Crusher something. It's just a word, not etymologically related to crushing eyes.
Huh, so Skull Drinker's the same?
No, I like drinking skulls. I make them into a smoothie.
Alright, so anyway, where was I?
Blam is so confused.
Damn it, we've run out of time again because of your fantasy nonsense. Okay, look, we'll have to do this next time. Team meeting. We have to make this podcast more popular, and we can't use elves or ogres because they're both way too sexy, and we cannot afford them. So what we have to do is we have to get him...
Okay, I've written a bit of a script. Can I do it? Can I do it for you? All right. Dear listeners, welcome to Trumpazoids, the Donald Trump Appreciation Society podcast. Today on TDTASP, we discuss tariffs, luminous incantations by our economic wizard president. Should we annex the moon? And why are immigrants made of swarms of Chinese nanobots? Join us today. What do you think?
Actually, you know what? I don't hate it. If all we're doing is just putting highly entertaining and absurd theories out there for those that might believe it, I'm kind of not loathing it, honestly. It's kind of what we're doing right now. We're just making a new myth.
I mean, I'm just, in every action that I take in our podcast or even in our future podcast, I seek to tell the truth, which is very important, about tariffs, whatever they may be, the moon, immigrants. I'm an immigrant, and I have checked. I'm not actually made out of swarms of Chinese nanobots, but other ones, I don't know.
Sound like the sort of thing a swarm of Chinese nanobots would say, though.
You know what? That is actually true. Okay, I think that we should actually get to the point of our podcast
current
today.
Podcast we're doing, yes.
The current podcast is, Mythtakes Happen, but this is our this is our Monstrous Mythtakes.
Monstrous Mythtakes.
So can you tell us, what do we do in Monstrous Mythtakes?
Well, each one of us has the name for a brand new and unique monster and a short description for it, no more than a single sentence. And then the other person riffs on it. And we go back and forth until we have something that we're satisfied.
Yes, sounds fantastic. Who goes first? I think you go first, actually.
I think I'm going first this time, yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Put this one in description, if only for because it's not the shortest one in the world and has a cool spelling of a name.
I love cool spelling.
Going to discuss Courson's Cunning Clawtig.
My God. Okay, Courson's Cunning Clawtig. It is due to Courson's expertise as an explorer that we know about these amazing creatures, and it is due to Courson's arrogant foolishness that the citizens of Heliakon must fear intermittent ambushes from these deadly predators.
That's right.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like this. And you've given me a creature and a person this time.
I was channeling you to do this one.
Thank you very much. I have something is coming to me already inside of my brain.
Oh, good. Right.
It's not a disgusting joke. Don't worry. Look. Okay, Courson's Cunning Clawtig.
Yeah.
Okay. So we established that Heliakon was sort of found and recolonized, I suppose,
yes.
About a century ago?
I think that's right, yes.
Yeah, or just a little bit over. So Jim Courson was one of the explorers who was sent into the region where Heliakon is,
right.
In order to, I think they knew where Heliakon was roughly, but it was one of those lost cities, like in the Americas. when the civilizations there fell, and then sort of European explorers would come and they'd be led to, in that valley there's that city, blah 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 blah, and it's all overgrown and stuff. So Jim Courson was one of the explorers there. One of the first things that his posse did, I guess, not posse,
party perhaps. I mean, a posse, I believe, has a sort of specific seeking somebody rather than some place out. But
you're right. Yeah. Well, are they conquistadors, really? A little bit. But yeah, okay. So Courson's party, one of the first things that they did was go beneath the city, because there were many ways of getting in there, semi-collapsed bits that have opened up tunnels and things like that. And of course, one of the first things they did was look for treasure, and they found loads of different treasures. They were in the shallows at this point. One of the things that they found was a perfectly smooth black sphere. Right. That was warm to the touch. And of course, what they did was they brought it with them outside. And then because it appeared to be an interesting artifact, they did what any smart explorer would do. They tried to get inside it with picks.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately for them, the black sphere was the last remaining egg sac of the Cunning Clawtig, which is up until that point, functionally extinct creature. Why was it extinct? Because the thing that it fed on, you're not going to believe this, is sapient dreams.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the city, having been abandoned, mostly, did not have any of that juicy stuff. They opened it up, and I believe that what happened at that point is that something came out. They didn't know exactly what it was. It was too fast for them to see, and it went back down into those tunnels. That first night that they camped outside, they felt that they were getting their dreams. The dreams were not easy. They all dreamt of something really, really terrible, and that was a sort of like premonition that they got that something hinky was going on. Because not only does the cunning Clawtig feed on dreams, it also has a semi-psychic connection to the creatures that it is feeding on. And it kind of pushes those dreams into the most emotional and, I guess, terrifying context that it can. Yeah, that's right. Because the thing from dreams that it feeds on are the very strong emotions that you can get from very vivid dreams. It's also called a Clawtig because as a part of its life cycle, it has to create a bond with a dreamer, that it has to be a dreamer that it keeps on feeding on. And the more it feeds on that dreamer, the physically closer it has to get to them until it gets as physically close as possible by using one of its stingers to pierce the back of the head and crawl inside, where it merges with the brain, and through a mysterious alchemical process, it turns the person's brain and skull into one of those black spheres. And then it slips away because it's just created a new one of itself. It doesn't do it very often, which is why this is not a plague level problem for people. But it is a problem now for the people of Heliakon on occasion. Now, you have written that it is an intermittent ambusher. So I will say, I will say that to some degree. I think I've covered that to some degree, but I will also say that if for some reason the Cunning Clawtig is unable to regularly feed on someone, it will attempt to force that connection by literally ambushing someone somewhere, usually when they're asleep, and going into their head that way. But without having made that initial connection, what happens is 80% of the time they just kill their victim.
Right.
And 20% of the time it does work, and they can make another one of themselves. As for physically what it looks like, this is an interesting one. So I'm actually imagining, in Pokemon, Metapod?
Yes.
Okay, imagine a Metapod-like shape, that kind of like triangular, cocoonish type, right? But it has 6 legs like an insect, and then out of the back of it, it has several, maybe 2 or 3 scorpion-like stingers. Right. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have any eyes. It doesn't have a mouth, because what it feeds on is not something that you can put in your mouth.
Yeah.
And I imagine that also it's covered by these long, fine hairs, and those are like kind of sensory organs for it, like like cat's whiskers.
Yeah, sort of like the fine hairs on number of hairy spiders, like a tarantula.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I imagine them being actually all different kind of colors.
I don't know. They're an ambush predator of some description. They're meant to sort of hide nearby,
like dull, like dull colors. Like I'm imagining like very like grays and dark reds. Does that sort of make sense? Yeah,
it does. Yes.
Like,
can I make a suggestion here?
I love suggestions. Yeah,
I love the idea of 3 stingers, scorpion-like stingers. That's sort of an uncomfortable number of stingers.
That's too many. That's too many.
What if the primary middle one is its feeding reproductory stinger? Claw.
The dream dick.
Yes, I really wish that phrase wasn't in my head now. And the other 2 contain a powerful sleeping poison. And during those, some of its ambushes, it's actually just like trying to put somebody to sleep so that it can then properly feed.
Oh, I love that a lot. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah.
How big are they?
I'm imagining smaller than a human head. I don't know, like a very big rat.
Right. Yes.
Like one of those rats that you get in the sewers that have just been feeding on. What's in the sewer? Do they eat shed? Do rats eat shed?
I suspect they actually feed on sort of garbage and other things that go down there and actually go out to get food. So, yes, I don't know what you mean. So, which is actually roughly lengthwise the length of about a human head. Then,
like, something like that. That's like what I'm 10 thinking.
12 centimeters at its full growth. Yeah. Which it's always at full growth because it hatches out of the weird black skull thing.
Hatches out of the thing,
in adult form.
Yeah. Right. And I wouldn't, I would imagine that it's not it's a pretty rare problem for people to have. I don't think that this kind of thing is usual, but I also think that it's fairly easy to imagine that you're being used by one of these creatures, and then you could go to someone who is an expert in dreams and that kind of magic, perhaps, and confirm that. And if so,
you go hunting for the Cunning Clawtig, and since they're physically not super threatening, just although they are dangerous with their sleeping poison, you find it and squish it.
That's right. I think you could squish one. I think you could crush one with your foot.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. Yeah. The only other thing I'd mention is that the dreams are always of being hunted and chased by a giant beast creature of some description. Not necessarily that looks like the Clawtig, but that anytime you have a dream that you're being hunted and chased by a big creature, there's always the potential that that's actually a Clawtig.
Yes. Yeah. But you know what? I also feel like it shouldn't always be you're being hunted. I think because it does feed on those high emotions, it should also be things that make you personally, I don't know, upset or uncomfortable or maybe like really deliriously happy as well.
Okay. I
don't know,
that just a little bit Just because that you don't, that way when you do it to a player and, you can have dreams and other bits and pieces, but there's always a clue in that you've got a Cunning Clawtig has hidden away in your backpack and has been feeding off you and your group for ages because you keep having dreams about being chased. I do like the idea of pushing, like making it a bit larger, that there's always elements that specifically frighten you or at least draw out your greater emotions.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't feel very strongly about the Clawtig, except for
Really?
I really like it.
As do I.
I feel like this is one of those creatures that really belongs in D&D.
I agree. I also feel like it's got that oddness that I think we're really coming up with when it comes to Heliakon, and it's nothing at all like I envisaged when I came up with the creature.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I think we're doing a great job with this.
I like to think so.
Okay. I think that's it for the Courson's Cunning Clawtig.
Absolutely.
Okay, Aaron, I will need you to roll some dice.
Okay. Oh, yes, right. Jolly good.
So I need you to roll a d3 because I have 3 tables here, and the tables are the vermin of the earth, the vermin of the skies, and the vermin of the woods.
Right. So choice of vermin, or vermin. And we are rolling a 1.
A 1.
Which is a 1.
So, which is a 1. A 1 is a 1. You have chosen vermin of the earth. Can you roll a d6 for me now?
Alrighty. We have a 3.
A 3? Oh, I'm happy with this one. Okay. Aaron, please tell me about the Bloody Bureaucrat Beetle.
The Bloody Bureaucrat Beetle. Alright.
Now, I don't have a sentence for this one except for the Bloody Bureaucrat Beetle is a surprising guest.
Okay. Oh, blimey, that's right. My first thought immediately is that it's one of those insects that creates, like, chews on wood and other pulp matter to create a paper-like substance, which is one of the sources of its name as the...
Oh, that's very good.
What was the first adjective? It was the something bureaucrat?
The bloody Bureaucrat Beetle.
And it is a surprising guest.
A surprising guest. I like the sound of you scratching your beard through the microphone. It's actually very ASMR.
I didn't realize
That's really good.
Well, I will bear that in mind, perhaps for a third podcast, is just Aaron's face ASMR.
That's good. I think people would pay for that.
Yeah,
if people pay for pictures of feet,
I think that the sound of Aaron's face is...
and the sound of Aaron's face
is the next wave of
face sounds, yeah.
All right. So the Bureaucrat Beetle is, I'm going to say, quite large for a beetle. It's about the size of a sort of, you know what? No, I like the idea that it has a maximum size that it just continues to grow over the course of its life.
So like a lobster?
Yeah, up to a certain point. But it does have a sort of a maximum size of, say, about 50 to 60 centimeters or...
oh my God, that's huge.
2 feet for any... imperial measurement listeners.
That's 2 Subway sandwiches. 2 foot-long Subway sandwiches.
Actually, apparently the foot-long Subway sandwiches aren't exactly a foot, and it's simply a name and not a measurement. But anyway.
What? Is that true?
I believe so, although I'm not sure entirely sure where I remember hearing that.
Because I don't understand imperial measurements at all. So when someone says I'm 5 feet, I imagine 5 Subway sandwiches on top of each other every single time.
I seem to remember there was a court case about it, but that memory is rather distant, so I'm not going to go too much into it for fear of being completely wrong. Bloody Bureaucrat Beetle, however, most of them through the course of their lives start off, small, juvenile, and grow through sort of hand and foot sized, like actual foot, not imperial measurement foot sized beetles. So the majority of the ones you'll find are large beetles, but not huge. They create nests which look like they chew on wood and plant matter and extrude it as a paste that makes a sort of paper-like shape, and they make them in scrolls. So they look like sort of scrolls, and they use them as their homes. It's where they lay their eggs and so forth. They primarily only consume blood. They are herbivores, like vampire bats and mosquitoes. Okay. I think visually they're sort of bone-coloured creature, beetle-shaped, fairly, I think, round for a beetle, but with a long antler like a lot of the beetles have, except that antler is actually more like a stiff and hard proboscis, and that is what they...
Stiff and hard. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, buddy.
Stiff and hard proboscis, which
proboscis.
they then used as a feeding tool. It has similar to mosquitoes, an anesthetic saliva that's also a blood thinner, and so when they poke it into somebody and then drain their blood, they may not immediately notice. However, as they get larger and larger, they need increasing amounts of blood, and there's only so much you can sort of poke something into somebody and have them survive it. So the larger beetles, the smaller beetles are a threat and a problem. They are just vermin. They can make you ill and pass on bloodborne diseases like mosquitoes do. And simply, if you get a whole bunch of them, you end up with less blood than you really need to be healthy. But when they start to get, that 10 to 15 centimeter size, or they start getting, half a meter big, then they are killing humans and cattle and all sorts of bits and pieces. So that is... oh
my God, I feel like this could be a big problem for homeless people.
Yes, I suspect so. Thing is, they're also colony makers. And when you have a colony of bloody bureaucrat beetles, what you end up with is a collection of what looks a lot like a series of different sized scrolls.
Okay, I like this. I feel like this could be something from like Diablo or Dungeon Keeper or something.
Yeah. There's a.
I like that. That's like visually that really strikes me as a good element. Yeah.
Cool. I'd say that just as a bit of sort of cultural fun, that having an inkwell made from the carapace of a bloody bureaucrat beetle is a bit of a sort of running gag that you dip into it and you can bits and pieces. So yeah,
that's brilliant. That's great. I love this.
So it's I like the idea that this is a fairly low level threat for the most part, although you can get, as I say, a bit like the dragons, you have, young, juvenile, adult, and ancient bloody bureaucrat beetles.
Yeah, that's really good. I like this very much. Yeah, I feel like the world that we make doesn't always need to have something that's 100% a threat all the time, because then we get into that kind of which I do think is interesting, the topics of like dungeon ecology and things like that, But what is a dungeon? Well, a dungeon is a special dimension where monsters live or something, which has been used, I think, quite well, but that doesn't quite work for our setting at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's, it's really good. I think I think that works well. The bloody bureaucrat beetle.
I like the difference between these two. The bloody bureaucrat beetle sounds like something that's just native to Dalmarin. That it's a problem, it's a threat, but it's normal. Whereas Courson's Cunning Clawtig, that's not only was it brought back into threat by the foolishness of the explorer Jim Courson, but that its very nature is somehow grotesque and aberrant. It doesn't feel like a natural threat.
It doesn't feel like a natural animal. And yeah, I think as we go on, like, as we have talked about, our world has gone through many ages, and during these ages, different creatures, even different people have been created for various purposes. And I think it's interesting to have a think about, okay, well, which ones of the things that we're talking about are native, which ones have been maybe brought here, which ones have been created whole cloth for some reason that's now forgotten. Maybe it was a good reason. Maybe it was a really good idea to have the Cunning Clawtig for something, but now that is so long forgotten and irrelevant.
Yeah, and I think there may be potential connection between the gnome plague and the Cunning Clawtig.
Yeah, could be, because the gnomes are big on dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Society of the Dreaming. That's right.
If you haven't heard about our gnome plague, keep listening to our major episodes. We will either be getting to it soon or go back and listen to it and find it.
Keep listening, guys. Like and subscribe. The only thing that matters in this world is clicks. So click. Listen to this episode multiple times. Make sure your parents, your children, your friends, your enemies, your tax collector listens, your pets listen to this episode and every other episode 600 to 700 times. If you want to donate $1 to us or some similar amount, we have a Patreon.
We do.
We do not make money off this.
We do not.
And that is very sad for both of us, but we do have day jobs. So if you want to buy Aaron mainly a coffee or something like that, that would be fantastic. Aaron is also a GM in Adelaide. If you hail from Adelaide and you need a dungeon master, Aaron, can you tell us about that really quickly?
Sure, please just search for Metal Phoenix Studio. metalphoenixstudio.com.au is my website, and you'll be able to contact me. We can arrange to run. I run lots of different games, as you can see, and be delighted to run both a campaign or one-off events for Bucks nights and hens nights or birthday parties and simple one-offs.
And there is a link to your website at the bottom of this audio or video, depending on which format you are consuming this in. And yes,
also to our Patreon.
And also to our Patreon, and a lot of other things. It's really amazing. Do you want to take us out with something funny, or should I do something funny?
Well, you started us with something funny, but you really probably put me on the spot, so I don't really have anything.
Oh yeah, okay.
Particularly funny.
I was thinking about actually, this is only funny to me. But do you remember when you were making a Transformers RPG?
Yes.
Okay, so Aaron was making a Transformers RPG, and I came up with the best character that Aaron said he would not let me play. And this character, his name was Optimal Crimes, and he was a transformer who would transform. He would transform into a suitcase with a small yield nuclear weapon in it, and he would be. He would essentially take hostages, and that was his thing. And Aaron said no, and I think that was very upsetting. And I think about it to this very day. And it's something that I resent Aaron for a lot.
There is a short but not particularly short list of character ideas that you've had that I have just said a hard no to over the years.
I don't want to talk about the Warcraft one, please. This is not appropriate for this podcast.
I'm not bringing it up. I'm simply reminding you that there's multiple character ideas I've said no to over the years, which does mean that some of the ideas that I have said yes to have been almost because you've twisted my arm and I feel bad about saying no so many times, and I do occasionally regret it.
Well, I think that's because I'm a dream maker, Aaron, and you are a dream crusher, fundamentally. So anyway, that will take us out. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye forever. Optimal Crimes.
Dearest listener, you may wonder why this recording does not have an attached raw and uncut video to reflect the incredible creative process which we follow. Or perhaps you are unaware that was even an option. Oh, you are indeed the lucky ones. The answer to this question is, I don't know. Technology follows fell pathways, my friend. Ill omens flow through the electric ley lines of your Wi-Fi, at times taking us payment precious JPEGs and GIFs, and other times sundering our vital MP4s to some dread realm. Live in hope it does not happen to you. Goodbye.